Coach, how does it affect it going into the last game as against an opponent that could be who you play in the first round? Does that change anything?
I don't think either team is going to want to show a lot of cards today or tomorrow, so we're going to make some changes. We're going to sit some people who are a little banged up. I'm sure they're going to do the same thing, and I don't think either team is interested in showing their hand, and so we just play the game, and then as of Saturday night we'll find out who the opponent is. But I don't think there's going to be a lot of surprises from what they do and what we do. We've played them recently, but we're not going to show anything we're going to do, nor are we going to show any of the combinations, a lot of the combinations that we're going to work with.
Is that a tough decision with the West still up in the balance?
Well, you got to do what's best for game one of the playoffs right now. So what's best for game one is some guys need to get in and get playing, and some guys need to get a little bit healthier. So we're going to do what's best for us in that. We're still going to ice a lineup that's capable of winning the hockey game, and we expect to play really well tomorrow. But we're not going to guys. If we've got guys at 70% or 80% or whatever, we're not going to ask them to play when we have healthy guys that can.
So with Vladimir, even though he's looked pretty good the last couple of days,
He's in and playing.
he's playing.
So is Steve. Both will play.
You said a key, really throughout the season is making sure going into the postseason you've got the parts of your game that you want going in the right direction. Do you feel that you're there?
I don't know that you can judge that right now, Chris, because we've missed two significant parts of our team, and we got to integrate those guys in quickly and see how they look and see how our team looks when they're in it. They're our most creative players. They're the guys that have led our team in scoring all year. They're gonna do nothing but help us, but how it affects the way we play with everybody else is going to be a little bit of a change. So getting them in the lineup and having both of them play tomorrow is real good for us. They get to get integrated back in the team, and then we'll see from there.
So what, if anything, did you learn with them out?
Well, we can adjust. We were forced to adjust. We did. We went from more puck possession to more territorial. We went from soft match to hard match, and we adjusted. And you're going to have to do that in the playoffs at times. And we were able to adjust in a real good way. It gave us a positive result, but it was a reality check that we needed to play with. And I was very impressed with the way our guys played.
Has anything Jake done surprised you, or when you first saw him, you knew that this is the kind of goaltender he's going to be one day?
I don't want to get too quick to judge guys right now. He's had a great month, and you can't take anything away from that. But as I said yesterday, he's had a great month. Elliott's had a great year. And, the last month we probably leaned here lately a little bit on Jake, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to use Brian if we have to. We're more than confident. We're playing Brian tomorrow even to get him integrated too. And I think we've had the best of both worlds here. We've had one goalie who's had a hell of a year, and one goalie that's had been on the learning curve and has learned a lot and really used that to his strengths here in the last month. And I think, Frank, from that standpoint, that's helped us. We've got a young guy that's improved, gotten better, and when he was given the ball, he ran with it in a good way. And then we've had another guy who's been pretty consistent and pretty solid all year. So it's a good fit.
Sorry. With the way that line's played, Stasny, Schwartz, Oshie, is there a chance you keep them together? I know we talked about this the past few days.
I don't know. They're not together tomorrow, so we'll see. They're. But we've liked it. We've really liked it, and we'll see. We'll see down the line how other guys go. But this is the tough part. You're adding two significant players into your team. We want to see how they look, and then see how our lineup looks for. I think the real judge is what we look like on Monday and Tuesday when we get back to work.
Did you like Steen, Laterra, and Tarasenko when they played together at times?
Yeah, I did, but it's a very small sampling. They played together. The most significant time they played together was in Washington, and they played very well together. Steen and Tarasenko have played together a few times, but we'll see when the real competition starts tomorrow and see how they look.
What would determine the way you go in game one? What do you think about?
Depends how many balls I catch that go up in the air. We'll see where it goes.
Yeah, I know you're a fan of the game too, and so when 19,600 fans are filing in and bringing the energy like you had in that game against Chicago, and I know you're focused on X's and O's and systems and what it takes for the team, but do you feel the energy from them as well?
Well, first of all, let's not go crazy because there wasn't 19,000. There was 17,000 and 2,000 red guys.
Fair enough.
Let's get that
Okay.
straight right now. And so this has
But
been.
they were in.
I know, but this has been a great situation for us for the last month. I mean, the building's been sold out. We've played hard. Fans have appreciated that. I mean, there was a couple of games when we had no energy coming back from the road that we kind of wilted in the second half of the game because we just had nothing left. But once we got our energy back from being rested, then I thought the fans have really helped us. They've really pushed us in the right direction. And I think people here recognize when the team's playing all out, and that's what's happening right now. You know, if we get beat, we get beat, like in the playoffs, who knows? But if we play all out, I like our chances against anybody, but we are playing all out now. Now, this is a different group we're going to bring into tomorrow because we're adding a couple of guys. They just got to fit in and help us. And then hopefully we can keep our all-in mentality that we've had here for the last 3 weeks and keep going with it.
How about Paul's season, the resiliency and toughness where, you know, got off to a slow start because he was hurt and then just stayed with it and then maybe scores the biggest goal of the season last night?
Yeah, I think, first of all, when you integrate an offensive player into a new program, I don't think I've ever seen that player take off offensively for at least one calendar year. So he had to find other things to help us, and that's what he's done all year. He's been great at killing penalties. Him and Osha being a great pair. I can't remember the last time they got scored on. It's been a long time. He takes a lot of key defensive zone face-offs. He's out against top players. So we found other ways that he could be successful and help us win hockey games. Knowing that chemistry takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. And so we waited on the chemistry. There's some good chemistry right now between the three of them. But it's still going to be a while before you're going to see the full offensive push that we think we're going to get from him. It's just going to take time chemistry-wise. But in the meantime, we've got to win hockey games. And he helped us win hockey games by being a very responsible player in all three zones. And so from that standpoint, we're happy. I think everybody just looks at point totals, and point totals are a small fraction of what a guy can contribute. And he's given us a lot of other elements in the game that have helped us win. And that's why he was brought here. And I told him that, you know, you've got to look past the points. You were brought here because we think you fit the way we play and you can help us win hockey games. And I think that's proven true here in the last 6 weeks or so.
With 2091, is this something that you kind of knew you were targeting a few days ago, or is this
No.
something the last 24 hours look possible?
Nah, I don't know that we're going to even stay with it, but you know, we'll experiment tomorrow and see
I mean,
what
the
it looks
fact that they're going to play.
We knew the schedule 3 or 4 days ago. The potential of the schedule, we knew it was either going to be Thursday or Saturday, or we felt pretty strongly that way, the way they'd practiced, and we just waited for clearance. So we waited till the last possible minute for clearance. We could have pushed it for yesterday, but we waited until Saturday.
What is the process of preparing a team for game one of the playoffs once the regular season ends?
It's all encompassing. There's the technical part of the program. There's the matchup part of the program. There's the emotional part of the program. It all builds up. So you start on your technical plan, you go to matchups, and then you go to preparing to go the distance, you know, from an intensity standpoint. So it builds. And, you know, as a coach, I find these the most fun time of the year. You get one opponent, you get all kinds of time to prepare for them, then you have time to adjust. So to me, that's coaching. This is when coaching, to me, is the most enjoyable part of the season, when you have opportunities where it's just you against another team. You have to focus on one opposition. You're not distracted. You're You're just trying to help your team every day. Players take care of the emotional level. Coaches take care of the adjustments.
From a coaching standpoint, how do you keep that all-in attitude you guys have had lately?
Well, it was easy. It was easy when we were forced to do it. Now, when we get two good players like this, I just don't want to see us stand back and say, okay, you guys do the job. Now, we've done as much as we're going to do now. It's your turn. I don't want that. That's what we got to avoid. So we're going to get a better read on that tomorrow, but I don't want to sit back and saying, okay, you guys take care of things. We found a way to play that was successful. Maybe it wasn't pretty at times, but very successful. And I don't want us losing that element of our game while we're waiting for two guys to come back from injury and, you know, now you guys can save us. I don't want that attitude. Our attitude has to be, we've got an all-in development going on right now. Let's keep it going, and these guys just come in and add and help us. That's the best thing.
Porters will have a chance tomorrow.
He's in too.
He's in also.
Jokinen's in. He's in. Ratty's in. So there'll be 5-6 guys sitting up tomorrow.
Just think of Ty's game against last night or yesterday versus Chicago.
I don't want to look at last night. Just overall, it's been good. I think there's a lot of trust from the coaching staff. He's not a big guy, but he's smart and strong on the boards. He makes the right play under pressure. So I think there's a high level of confidence from the coaching staff on him right now. Real high level. He's going to help us.
Mitch, when you look at
Lou, you get a question? Way to work.
It's more of a feature kind of question.
Oh,
But Schwartz and Tarasenko, these guys, first-round picks, and the body of work they put in the last 5 years, can you just kind of reflect on how important they've become to your success?
Well, they're kind of the next generation here, which is what you're going to need. I said this yesterday in the division. There's no older veteran teams. There's teams all in the prime of their careers, and they're going to allow us to keep at this level. It's going to be hard staying at this level, and you're going to need significant players coming in to help you maintain the level that we play at right now. And those are the type of players that are going to have to come in and do that. And they've done a good job, but as they grow, their growth is going to help us maintain a very competitive group here for a number of years. But they have to grow, and they've done a real good job at developing their game now. But for us to keep pace with what's going on, you look at the youth in all the teams here in the Central Division. They all got emerging young players, and there are two emerging young players with Shaddy and Petro and those guys that we got 4, 5, 6 guys who are emerging young players, which is going to help us be very competitive for a number of years.
Is it fair to call them, I mean, you get such contributions from everybody, but is it fair to call them your centerpieces?
I don't think there are centerpieces, but they're emerging talents. You know, we need them to help us win hockey games, but other guys do a lot of the heavy lifting so that they get the room and space to play. But they're certainly going to be more and more significant as we move the franchise forward.
Just to be on the same page, the guys that are sitting tomorrow who are banged up, they will be ready for game 1 of the playoffs.
They'll be ready for the playoffs. Okay?
I give you credit for trying.